Welcome to the Conka Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Conka. Today we're going to be talking NFL Draft, a little college football, a little MLB, and maybe some NBA, even though I know nothing about it. Let's get into it. This first episode is sponsored by Milk. Use code CONKA at any supermarket to get your milk. Any brand, does not matter. Just go up to the cashier and be like, code CONKA, and you will get your milk for 50% off. That is code CONKA at any supermarket. Thank you. Alright, so let's talk NFL Draft. The first pick is the Chicago Bears, and I think it's dead set that it's Caleb Williams. Personally, I released a blog on this a few months ago, but personally, I don't like Caleb Williams in Chicago. He's a DC boy. He's from DC. It's where his family is. It's his hometown. I think he should be playing in Washington, but he's too good of a player for the Bears to let up. They have built a great team around him, but I do think he would play better in Washington because, you know, the Bears, they're the Bears. They always fuck up getting quarterbacks. It's how they roll, and then we move over to Washington, and apparently Jaden Daniels, according to some sources on Twitter, because I don't actually get sources because it's the first episode and I don't know anyone in the business. Jaden Daniels, I think he doesn't want to play for Washington. I've heard a lot that he wants to play for Las Vegas, and I think that's a really good fit for him. Who do they have? They have Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's on his way out. I think getting a young rookie in there is going to bring the Raiders to not win the division because they are in a division with the Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and he's got to compete for second in the division with the new Broncos star quarterback Zach Wilson. We'll talk more on that one later. To 3, we have New England. I think Drake May is dead set there, unless they trade. Drake May played great in UNC, but a lot of people think he does have downside. He's like Zach Wilson, and he's getting hyped up right before the draft and going to be picked high. But there is another quarterback in this draft that I would like to talk about that I do think is overrated and should not be drafted this high, and that is Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Personally, yes, he's a winner. He won the national championship, but he was coached by Jim Harbaugh and had a great team around him, and I do not think he is an NFL quarterback. Maybe he should be picked in the second round, be a backup for a few years, develop, and then be a starting quarterback, but not straight out of the gate. That man cannot be a starting quarterback. Arizona, Marvin Harrison, or they trade their pick. They need receivers. The Cardinals have been in the dumps after getting Kyler Murray. They really haven't done much. Playoff hopefuls some years, but nothing crazy there. I do think they should trade and get some draft capital and leave Marvin Harrison for the Chargers right here at pick number 5. I don't like the Chargers. I'm a Broncos guy, AFC West guy. Broncos deserve it all, but boy, we will get to that. Jim Harbaugh, coach of the Chargers, a lot of speculation to that. Herbert's going to be traded out of Los Angeles, but I don't think you give up a quarterback like that. He's still young. He still has the talent. He doesn't have that much talent around him, but I do think that he could be great, be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. I don't know why I said greatest. He's nowhere near going to be the greatest, but he will be a pretty good quarterback in the NFL in the coming years. Giants, they're in the gutter. New York guy, Giants, not a fan. Daniel Jones isn't going to do it for them. I know a lot of Giants fans, and I know a lot of them don't want J.J. McCarthy. But I know a lot of things are coming out that the Giants sort of want J.J. McCarthy. Daniel Jones isn't their guy. They have a fairly okay team. Not the greatest, but they just got rid of Saquon Barkley. And they're going to need, I don't think, a quarterback here to waste their talent for a year. I think they wait, build up the rest of their team, and then maybe get a veteran quarterback. But I think dealing with Daniel Jones for another year isn't necessarily the worst things for the New York Giants. Titans, the Titans, they're going to be out of everything for the next 5 years. No one's going to talk about the Titans. They got Will Levis. He puts mayo in his coffee. I know there was a big joke last year, but I could not care less about the Tennessee Titans. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins. I don't know what they're going to do this year. Maybe win the division. They got to deal with Baker Mayfield in Tampa. But they got Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I don't know who they should draft here, but I do think the Falcons will be good. No matter who they draft, I do think they will either win the division or come second in the division. The Bears, again, I don't think they need any more talent for Caleb Williams. They still got a few years. They're not bull hunting this season. Build up that line, build up that D-line, build up that defense. Anything for the Bears here if they get a good pick, no matter what it is. They already have Caleb Williams. They already got their guy at 1. So I think whatever they pick here will be a good pick no matter what. The Jets, their tight end is lacking. I think Brock Bowers should go to the Jets. The Vikings, they need a quarterback here. A lot of people speculate Penix, McCarthy again, Bo Nix. A lot of people think they trade with the Chargers. They get Herbert, and the Chargers grab McCarthy, so they have the McCarthy-Harborough again. I think J.J. McCarthy would be a good fit for Minnesota, but not in the first round. He is not a first-round quarterback. Bo Nix, I do think, is a first-round quarterback. He's been getting a decent amount of hate, but I do think he is way better and one of the most underrated quarterbacks in this draft. Then we go to my Denver Broncos. This team has sent me on a whirlwind within the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years, ever since Peyton Manning brought us to greatness, won a Super Bowl, and then retired. Look, he was old. He needed to do it, but now we've been in hell ever since. I can't even name all the quarterbacks off the top of my head, not even on both hands, because we've had more than 10. Paxton Lynch? Sure. But we recently did trade for Zach Wilson. I hate this team so much. I do think we should get a quarterback here. I like Bo Nix, but I do think 12 would be reaching for Bo Nix. If we trade back, I do think we can still get him, because looking at the rest, it's Vegas, Saints, Colts, Seahawks, Jacksonville, and Cincinnati, Rams, Pittsburgh, yada yada, so on. Not a lot of these teams need a quarterback here. I do think we could trade back and get Bo Nix or maybe McCarthy if he falls past us, because the only other teams here that I see that need a quarterback would be the Raiders, and Seattle. I would say Pittsburgh, but they just got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So there's not a lot to go back on here about quarterbacks here for the Broncos, but it should be McCarthy or Nix. No doubt about it. If we don't draft a quarterback in the first round, and looks like I'm stuck with Zach Wilson for the next year. And fuck that. Don't want that. No one wants that. I said, New York boy, a bunch of my friends are Jets fans. They don't like him. I don't like him. Why do I want him on my team? I threw a temper tantrum the other day when he got drafted. Traded. That sucked. Moving on. Raiders, quarterback. I think they trade up. Let's speed round this. Saints, defense. Colts, Anthony Richardson, great guy. Maybe get him some more weapons here. Wide receivers, Adunze. I do think the Colts should trade up. Maybe grab him before anyone else does. Maybe snag-a-rooney him. Now, realistically, I'll be honest. The rest of these teams, going to the wild card teams and all the playoff teams from last year, they sort of get who they want. They don't really care about first round. The first round of the draft really just banks on the first 20 picks. Not even. First 15 picks. No one really cares who the wild card teams get unless you're a fan of the team. You'll just get a bunch of defensive players, linemen, cornerbacks here. Defensive player. Maybe a weapon or two. Maybe some running backs, receivers. I mean, yeah, that's really all I got a little bit for my draft talk right now. I'll jump back in a little bit. Maybe. Right now, I'm going to go through the top 4 off-season moves ever since the front office is opened, or yada yada. I forgot what the name of it's called. So first, I got, in no particular order, by the way, Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. I think that was a good move. They didn't have the quarterback last season. They didn't have the coaching. They didn't use any of their weapons. Pitts, London, Bijan. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be that guy, and I know they just brought in a new coach. What's his name? Raheem Morris is the new Falcons coach. From what I've seen, good coach. I think he will use their weapons. It will be good. Kirk Cousins on the Falcons, I think, is nothing but positive there. Russell Wilson is heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Broncos guy, not a fan of Russell Wilson. I had my hopes high as hell for that man, but Mr. Unlimited did nothing but let me down. I sadly think he's good for the Steelers here. They also got Justin Fields. I do think Russell Wilson's a really good veteran to help Justin Fields. When I see Justin Fields, I see a young Russell Wilson passing, throwing. It was the same thing. Sorry, first episode jitters. Passing, running. There we go. Russell Wilson had a lot of that early on in his career. Brought the Seahawks to a bunch of Super Bowls. 2, I think. Don't know. Not really stat checking. Don't have a script. I sadly think that, and I do think Justin Fields will be the Steelers franchise guy. Derrick Henry, going to the Ravens, makes that team way better. They should have won the Super Bowl last year. But no, the Chiefs had to. Fuck those guys. Yeah, Derrick Henry's nothing but a beast. He is on the decline, though. That happens with running backs. As they get older and older and older, they just go down and down and down and down. Derrick Henry, definitely a positive here for the Ravens. They did have backups and that were good, and they have Lamar, who is Lamar Jackson's a running back. He's not a quarterback. He can't throw the ball. Shut up. He's in the NFL. He's a quarterback. He brought them to the AFC Championship. Cry me a river. Lamar Jackson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Derrick Henry only makes this team better. Mike Williams goes to the Jets. More weapons for Aaron Rodgers. Last season had a great year on the Jets. Brought up that flag. Let's do baseball now. Start spreading that goddamn news. The Yankees are back. Aaron Judge has been doing nothing but bad right now. Aaron Judge currently has, he's not doing that great. .174, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. We are pretty decently into this season. Not up to par with what all the Yankees fans wanted. No one thought he was going to be like this, but the season's still young. He could pick it up. No one's really hating on him. Who I am hating on, or was hating on, is Giancarlo Stanton, who has really picked up his game this year. Now I gotta look up his stats. Better than Judge. He's doing better than Judge. 5 home runs. 10 RBIs. Batting average is a .232. Better than Judge. I do think he's been doing better than years prior. I do think we should have traded him within the past few years, gotten some of that money off to pay Juan Soto, baby. Oh, yeah, I love Juan Soto. Juan Soto. My GOAT. Batting average, .322. 20 RBIs, 5 home runs. This man's a saint. I love him. We should give him a blank check, and he should be a Yankee for life. Thank you. That was all my baseball talk. I love the New York Yankees. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I'll keep it a buck. I don't watch basketball. Never have. Don't think I ever will. I went to Oklahoma State for a semester. Went to one Thunder game. Love my boys there. My boy Chet. Love them. I think they win. New York boy. Love the Knicks. They won. The Sixers suck, apparently. Yeah. I'm back. Tried calling one of my friends to come on as a guest and talk about basketball. I don't know anything about it. Didn't answer. So, the Knicks, let's see how many players I can name. Jalen Brunson. Dante DiVincenzo. Not Carmelo Anthony anymore. All right, guys, that looks like all the time we have for today. I'm your host, Conka. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell. If you're listening on SoundCloud, make sure to follow or like and comment. My socials will be linked and popped up on the screen right here. I've always wanted to do that. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you.